scary self.
Welcome to another scary paranormal compilation. Today we look at 5 weird and paranormal moments caught on camera. Can you watch to the end? Number 5. The Transparent Man. In this next clip we see a lone figure emerging from the distance, walking along the road path. But as he drew closer, it became obvious that something was off. The man seemed transparent. At first it was almost imperceptible, a faint mistiness around the edges of his form. But as he walked, the effect became more pronounced. His body seemed to fade in and out of focus, like a reflection on rippling water. His features were indistinct, his figure a blur of light and shadow. Whoever was behind the camera obviously saw how unnatural this figure looked and immediately decided to make a recording of the unusual footage. Was this a trick of the light, a hallucination, or something more sinister? The man's transparent form seemed to defy the laws of nature, raising questions about his very existence. Was he a ghost, a spirit trapped between worlds? Or was he something more mundane? A person suffering from some kind of bizarre medical condition? What do you think is really going on in this footage? Let us know in the comments below. This last video involved a human personality to record this footage, but this next video involved no human presence, making it all the more sinister. Number 4. The Haunted Hallway. This video was uploaded 7 years ago on a channel simply known as Deer Park CBS. The video shows the CCTV footage of a very unusual occurrence in the school hallway. The school hallway is shown completely empty of any human presence, and all we can see at first are the lockers and closed doors, but soon we get to hear and see the result of the sound of locker doors opening and closing, despite the fact that there is no form of human activity going on in this security camera footage. The weird activity behind the shaking of a single locker, its metal door vibrating with a gentle hum. The disturbance was small, but as the seconds ticked by, the rattling grew louder and began to spread to adjacent lockers. The lockers start to shake violently, their doors clanging open and shut with a deafening din. The hallway fell silent, with the bizarre phenomenon the only sound. The shaking intensified, with lockers on both sides of the hallway moving wildly. The disturbance was chaotic, yet there was no sign of anyone or anything that could be causing it. The lockers seemed to be shaking of their own accord. As abruptly as it had begun, the shaking stopped. The lockers fell silent, their doors still and quiet. The hallway was left in an eerie silence. The question on the air is what had caused the lockers to shake so violently? Was this a prank, a natural phenomenon, or something more sinister, like a ghost? Could this possibly be a result of paranormal activities at full display? The comments on the video was turned off and no one really knows the state of things in that school environment, or whether or not anyone still attends this school, which clearly appears to be haunted by some evil spirits. This last footage raised a lot of questions about the existence of haunted homes and spaces, but this next video is way more creepy. It provides evidence of the paranormal. Number 3. Ghost in the room. The young girl in this footage looks to be about 5 years old. We can clearly see that she was alone in her room. We see when she noticed a bag hanging close to her closed window. We begin to see when the bag starts to shake vigorously, as if an invisible hand was grasping it and moving it back and forth. The young girl was troubled with curiosity and concern as she stared at the bag. There is obviously no reason why this bag should shake with such intensity, because we can clearly see in the footage that the window is closed, and even if it was, the bag has too much weight to be flung by the breeze the way it is being shaken in the footage. The girl tried to calm things down in her own naive way, speaking softly to the bag as if it were a person. Despite her efforts, the bag continued to shake, and the girl's fear began to grow. Just when it looked like we could give an explanation to what happened with the bag, something even more paranormal began to take place. As she took a step back, her eyes still fixed on the bag as it continued to move. The shaking was getting more intense. Suddenly, we could see her closet swing open with a loud creak. The girl's fear turned to terror as she could obviously not grasp what exactly was going on. The girl didn't hesitate. She turned and ran out of the room as fast as her little legs could carry her. After she made it out of the view of the security camera, we can still see the objects in the room moving ominously. This is one of the most disturbing ghost footages uploaded on YouTube. The video was uploaded just 2 years ago with a disabled comment section, leaving us without any context or follow on what really went down in that video. Whether or not this footage is a prank or a real proof of ghost activity is still a huge subject of debate. Was it just the wind, or was something more sinister at play? The girl didn't know, but she knew she didn't want to go back into her room. And for most of us, viewing this, that is enough proof of the existence of the paranormal in our physical realm. But let us know what you think. This next clip is one of the most disturbing footages out there when it comes to evidence for ghost activities. And this particular footage is said to capture the moment an evil spirit went into full display. Number 2. Demon eyes. In this next footage, we see the moment that someone clearly aware of the presence of an unseen force stands behind the camera and tries to call out this presence in order to capture it in the camera for all to see. The video seems to have been pre-recorded with an intention to capture a ghost activity. This is probably one of the only videos where the recording was done with an intention to capture unusual activity, and that is exactly what we got to see.
Show yourself.
His focus is on the window as he records the darkness outside. It's obvious he must have had a lot of peculiar experience with this area of his home, which has probably given him the confidence to call out this presence, asking if anyone is there, and also demanding that the ghost show yours itself. At first, there was no response. The camera captured only the faint sounds of the night, but then something changed. A faint flickering light appeared in the window. The eyes seemed to hover in mid-air, suspended 5 to 7 meters above the shadows. They glowed with an otherworldly light. The eyes disappeared as suddenly as they appeared, leaving the man staring at the darkness in confusion. What is your opinion about the entire scene? Could those eyes belong to an animal of a bird? And if it is, how does it explain the fact that the eyes were suspended in mid-air? Also, does it explain the fact that the yellow eyes seem to appear and disappear almost in a flash? Which animal can pull up a stunt like that? I don't know any, but if you do, be sure to let us know in the comments below. Most of these ghost encounters normally took place in the dead of the night, only seen under the blurred view of CCTV footages, but this next video took place in broad daylight. Number 1. Headless man walking on the street. This strange video was uploaded to YouTube 8 years ago on a channel named Tagalog Horoscope, and what we see is a figure emerging from the shadows. It looked like a man, or at least it appeared to be a man, but something seemed clearly off with the whole video, but we can clearly see that this man has no head. The figure walked slowly down the street, its body moving stiffly as if it were being propelled by an unseen force. People in their cars caught sight of the headless man and couldn't believe their eyes. They obviously grabbed their phones and started recording, trying to process what they were seeing, and this is exactly how the video was being recorded, as we can see that the recording seemed to be taking place in a moving vehicle. The footage was shaky and grainy, but it clearly showed the headless man walking down the street. He didn't seem to be aware of his surroundings, and he didn't react to the people staring at him in horror. As the figure continued down the street, people in their cars followed him, still recording. But as they approached the end of the block, we can see the figure suddenly vanish from view, almost like he never existed.
நில்லுங்க ரொம்ப கிட்ட போறீங்க நீங்க.
அவர் தெரிஞ்சாரு வரட்டிக்கிட்டு போவாரு.
இது மறைக்குது.
ரொம்ப போறீங்க.
அந்த வெளிக்கு போன சிக்காப்போ இருக்கு.
Tak ada otak, tak ada mulut, tak ada hidung, tak ada otak pun.
Lengaci.
Could this entire video be a prank or some very elaborate hoax or something truly supernatural? The footage was uploaded to the internet, leaving viewers to draw their own conclusions, and many are of the opinion that this headless ghost must have belonged to a freshly murdered body who probably died by decapitation, and his spirit is somehow restless from being killed in such a gruesome manner. The video ended abruptly, with no clear explanation of what had happened to the headless man. It was as if he had simply disappeared into thin air. The scene was eerie and unsettling, leaving those who witnessed it with a sense of unease and uncertainty. It was a moment that would haunt them for a long time, a reminder that there are some things in life that cannot be explained. Anyways, what do you think is really going on in this footage? Let us know in the comments below.